Hello and welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be covering if I could only do 10 exercises for the rest of my life, here is what I would choose. So this is going to be a little bit more personal and it is a hypothetical technically, but a lot of the time I like to preach knowledge, and again I can obviously back that up with studies, I can back that up with other stuff, but it's not really giving you an insight to what I do personally in terms of my training, and I want to connect with my audience a little bit more. And I feel like understanding my favorite exercises and exercises that I wouldn't do myself might influence your training. Again, everybody's different. I am going to cover that later. However, if you want to know kind of my 10 favorite exercises, or if I only had 10, these would be the ones that I would choose. Another way is at the end, I can obviously talk to you about how I'd structure that. However, that's more in depth. Again, you can always send me a message on my Instagram, which we'll get into that as well. So, can we go? There we go. Why should you listen to me on this topic? I mean, first of all, it is a opinion-based video. Again, it's my favorite top exercises. My voice is going, but we're going. As an in-person and fitness, wait, that doesn't even make any sense. As a in-person and online coach, just coming up to over a year now, a couple months from now, I've tried and tested exercise with a massive range. Just to clarify, again, this is my personal preference. None of these have been chosen scientifically to be the best for muscle growth. I don't believe there's chosen exercises to be a lot better than others. It's whatever feels good for you and feels good for your joints, able to progress or add weight over time, and how much can you influence your range of motion as well. Is, I would say, the 3 things you should look for in an exercise. If you get those 3 things right, you're gonna have a great time. Again, this is what works for me. I would love for you to try these for yourself, but results, enjoyment, and general preference will all vary. So, my goal. I aim to create fitness content easy to consume while also documenting my journey. I'm learning as I go along, so please use what's helpful and forget the rest. Subscribe to my YouTube channel at Ryan McIntyre Coaching, all one word, for these videos that I post weekly, where you can learn something new every single week. To help you not make the same mistakes as me, a lot of people struggle with going to the gym. So if you want the extra help, the extra help that I didn't get when I started, send a DM to my Instagram at Ryan McIntyre Coaching. The reason why I do this is because I want to help my younger self, where we can have a conversation about your situation and see if I can help. I would love to create you a free muscle building blueprint of, I would obviously hear your scenario, ask you a couple questions, and give you an idea of how to get the best results from where you are to where you want to be in about the next 3 to 6 months or so, especially during this winter arc, which I'm still creating videos for you guys as it is very freezing outside. So, things to cover. I mean, it is only the 10 exercises. Usually I have a massive list here, but we are going to start again, just to make sure these exercises are they're not in order. Like, again, I do have favorites in this list, but I'm not really gonna mention that during this video. So, number 1, we have the lateral raise. So, this is going to target the side delt. And if you don't know what the side delt is, it is this right here. So this is the front delt where I'm pointing at the front. This is the side delt, and then this is the rear delt. So again, rear, behind, you can kind of guess, but side delt, and again, depending on your position, you can target more of the shoulder. So from the photo here, I mean, you can't really see it if you're watching it as a clip or as a podcast. However, they have started the cable at the very bottom of the cable set. However, what I would like to do is, I'm going to stand up for this, is that you would have your hands directly down at your side. So if I move over to the side here, I'm going to drop the mic actually. I'll put my hands down at the side, and that would be where the cable would be aligned. So instead of lateral raising down at the bottom here, grabbing, then going up, I would start here, take a couple steps out, and notice if the cable's here, I'm driving across, and you notice how my shoulder is now in a stretched position. You lift up from here, slight bend in the elbow, again, you can't really see, But again, see how I come back, shoulder goes all the way across my body. And that allows for a better stretch, in my opinion. Again, you can try it that way. That's how I have done it from the last couple of months. And I would say my shoulders are definitely one of my stronger points. So this has been a staple in my training program, always, and builds the size of your shoulders to give you that more broad look. It also gives you the illusion that you have a smaller waist just because of the wide shoulders, and no one doesn't want wide shoulders. It just gives you that strength look, and it makes your physique, your upper body especially, 10 times better just by having wide shoulders. Again, you can see what targets here in terms of the side. Again, they have fancy names here, like the anterior deltoid, which is again the front delt, lateral deltoid, which is the side delt. Again, I'm just going to call it the stuff that I know. I'm not going to use these fancy terms, but that's one already done. So number 2, we have pull-ups. Again, I have talked about this in a recent video already. However, this is going to target the upper back width. So depending on the grip, again, the wider the grip, the more it's going to be with your lats. Very similar movement to the lat pull down. Again, you're having your hands up. Instead of pulling the bar down to your chest, you're pulling yourself up to the bar, if you know what I mean. Again, there's no like secret for this, other than instead make sure when you pull up, you're bringing your chest up to the bar instead of driving your arms up, because you're going to use a lot more of your arms instead of your back. So you don't want to be pulling your arms, you want to engage your back as well. And the best thing about the pull-up is that you can do this body weight assisted, or even add weight if you're strong enough. I'm not at that point yet. I can probably do about 10 pull-ups, which is not great for a coach. I wish I could do more. However, I am on a cut, so I should be able to do more soon. But yeah, not only can you do this, not only does this allow you to do a dead hang, which there's many benefits from a dead hang. I don't really want to go into that because I'll be going into a different exercise. But yeah, it will just kind of help alleviate your spine, I think is the right term. So basically, if you're dead hanging, you just kind of relax the back a lot. But it also gets your back and biceps in a lengthened position. So as you're at that kind of, a lot of people cut off the pull-up at the bottom. So they'll go kind of pull up, and then instead of going all the way down like this, like fully stretched like this, they kind of stop about here and just do pull-ups like that, which you should not be doing. Oh, the mic's gone. You should not be doing. In my opinion, I think you should go all the way down, because that's going to basically put every single muscle group that you have, back, biceps, all in a stretch position. And you'll hear me preaching that a lot, just because it feels good on the muscle when you get it in a stretch position, in my opinion. And one final point is, it's exactly why ring gymnasts, if you've ever seen ring gymnasts, they have absolutely massive biceps. Especially biceps, obviously massive arms in general, but because they're constantly doing that calisthenic kind of pull up and then kind of muscle up type movement, if you know what I mean. So they're obviously, just by pulling up, you think it's a back exercise, but they're a big bicep builder as well. So that's why it's ideal. And assisted, you can do it on a machine too, which helps you engage the muscles better, in my opinion. But number 3, we have the incline chest press. This is going to target the front delt, upper chest, and the triceps. Again, you can see from the photo, it says anterior deltoid, upper pectoris major and triceps brachii, I think. Again, I don't really care about these terms. They're fancier, they're like the scientific ones. I'm just gonna stick with the stuff I say. The reason why I picked this as the chest exercise is I feel like it allows for a deeper stretch than any other chest exercise. Like a barbell bench press, you can't go as far down with dumbbells. And dumbbells being unilateral, or you could do one at a time, is that you will have less muscle imbalances just due from the balance of both dumbbells, and each one's holding their own dumbbells. So in terms of reducing muscle imbalances, it will be a lot better than using like a barbell where one side can take over and you're almost like, instead of pushing up like this, you're kind of going like this, like shaking all the way up, if you know what I mean. But this means that you don't have to rely on your gym having a specific chest exercise as well. Obviously, I love having a chest machine, but every gym has dumbbells. And again, in terms of progression, you can slow down the negative movement. You can even go further down. You can change the dumbbell position. There's so much you can do with this. That's why it's one of my favorites. Hack squat for number 4. again, it's not like I really enjoy this exercise. I mean, I have to put in a leg exercise at some point, but this targets the quads, and this one is a killer. Genuinely brutal, especially if you go to failure. Even if you just slow down kind of the movement where you're going down into the squat, getting all the way down and then going back up is terrible if you especially don't have bands on the side, which I'll go into. The thing about this is, depending on your feet position, you can target both hamstrings and quads, which is ideal because it is just a squat variant. Again, a lot of people would prefer a barbell back squat, which is perfectly fine. However, I just feel like I can't physically, I can't really go to failure as easier on a barbell back squat, because just the fear of going down and not going back up, especially on the hack squat. I know if I go back down and I stop out here, I know I'm not going to get crushed by the barbell, and I don't have to kind of like fling the bar behind my body. However, I know a lot of people are going to give me stick for that, but again, this is going to build your barbell back squat anyway. If I was to try PB, I don't really know how much I would do, but you know what I mean. And again, using bounds on the side allows for a smoother move pattern and increase weight where it matters. So again, when you're all the way down in that depth position, you're gonna have a lot less weight, but it's gonna still have a lot more tension on the quads. And obviously once you're coming back up, you're engaging all the muscles that you need. So the quads mostly, again from the photos, even a little bit of the calves as well, but mostly a quad builder. Like let's not beat around the bush. So number 5, we have the hammer curl, which is cable as well. I have tried dumbbells. I think dumbbells are good, but I think cables are the best in my opinion. This is going to target the biceps, and this is going to be the only forearm exercise. I wouldn't really class it as a forearm dominant movement. I would say it's more biceps. However, this is an isolation exercise as pull-ups. I've already targeted the main part of the bicep. So we are pausing at the top, and this allows for the arms to squeeze. So as you can see from the photo on the right, you might be able to catch it, but it's just as you go up, you're having your elbows locked in, pausing at the top, and then that will squeeze. Again, we don't really want to have too much weight on this. It's just practicing the squeeze at the top to really, really burn the bicep. And this, I feel like the rope is a lot easier to control than the dumbbells, just because pausing at the top and slowly controlling after is pretty difficult. And the rope allows for you to have a wide path as well, instead of using like a bar of any sort, that like a hammer curl bar. But again, I wouldn't really use a bar for hammer curls anyway. So number 6, I mean the photo is terrible quality, but number 6 we have tricep extension. Again, this is going to target, you probably guessed it, the triceps. And I haven't really clarified it here, but I also use a rope for this one, just because when you use a rope, it targets all 3 heads of the tricep. Again, you can use a V-grip, however, you are using more of your body weight. It's good for your wrists, and it's easier to push down, but the fact of using the rope, it just hits the stabilizer muscles as well. That definitely gets neglected in a lot of people's physiques, which again, for this one, it would be the tricep push down. And due to the balance and control with the rope, you will see a lot better results. However, from this photo, you can't see it. A lot of people would push down in front of them. I think it's smarter to drop the weight and push down instead of in front of them, out wide with the rope. Again, you can do this with 2 ropes or 1 rope, but it's just about getting that full extension of the arm. And it's almost like whenever somebody ever flexes their tricep, they're obviously going like this. You can't see it because of my jumper, but you want to do that basically with the rope. And it's harder to do that with a V-grip or any other bar, just because of the structure. And other than that, I think in terms of where to set the cable, obviously at the very top, I would sometimes start a little bit further down. However, even in this photo as well, a lot of people cut off the motion. So stand up again, they push down, they go here, and then they go about here, push down again. You want to go all the way back up, keeping the elbows locked, back down. So it's literally the complete reverse of the hammer curl base, basically, in other words. Number 7, we have dips. This is going to target the chest, triceps, and the front delt, a little bit of the front delt. And just like the pull-up, these can be done body weight assisted or even weighted. and like the pull-up, they can be done literally anywhere. You just have to find two kind of, I mean, this is harder to do anywhere. Pull-ups, probably a little bit easier, but depending on your position, you can go fully straight up or slightly in forward. Slightly in forward would target more of the lower chest, and straight up is going to target more of the triceps. Again, that's why it's so beneficial, is doing this is that you can obviously change the pattern based on what you want to target. And leaning forward allows for a deep stretch in the chest, and by doing dips, you can actually increase your bench press as well. And that's why it's a big favorite of mine as well. So this one's going to be a little bit different. This one, number 8, is going to be good mornings. This is going to target the hamstrings. I was doing these today actually. These are brutal. However, in the photo we have the barbell. I use a Smith machine, and basically this is going to practice hip hinge. As I complete these with a Smith machine, as it's just nice on the spine. Again, you can literally see from this photo, it does not look comfortable with the barbell going all the way down. You're basically squatting, but having your knees locked in position. So you're not bending your knees at all. You're just leaning forward, keeping a slight bend in your knee. And basically, you don't even have to go that far down with the Smith machine or the barbell. As long as you feel basically a stretch in the back of the legs, you can add a little bit of weight just for a little bit more tension. And it's just about getting the right range of motion where you're going to feel that stretch with that weight where you can increase over time. Again, you don't want it to just log on weight like you would on a squat or a bench press. You want to have very little weight and just practice feeling the muscles working. Because I feel like a lot of people struggle with feeling their hamstrings on like a seated leg curl or a leg curl or like a glutes builder, like a glute machine. However, this is great just for getting the stretch position. And again, range of motion can be relatively short depending on flexibility. For me, my range of motion is, well, my flexibility, sorry, is terrible. So I go down literally slightly and the back of my leg is already burning with a stretch, which again feels really good. But try this one out for yourself. Use a Smith machine and start your feet really behind the bar. So instead of having the feet aligned with the bar like you would with the squat, start it about a foot back, a foot further back, I'd say. So number 9, we have the low cable row. So this is going to target the lower back fitness, as we've already targeted the width for the pull-up. As you can see from the photo, it's about keeping your elbows tucked in, having the weight here, driving into your chest. However, a lot of people, the mistake a lot of people make with this is that they'll have a narrow grip where they can only drive it into their chest or their abdomen, and you can go a lot further back. That your elbows can go a lot further back if you use a wide grip, like the photo here. I mean, I don't know what that grip is. It's it's a lat pull down bar, which is interesting. Using a wide grip ensures that your elbows can be driven back behind the torso and leaning forward on the negative part of the movement. So instead of just keeping your back straight as you normally would, like this, so you would row here, instead of keeping your back straight and going like this again, you're not really stretching out your back. So I would row, lean forward, and then row again. That's what I would ensure in terms of back muscle growth. And number 10, finally, we have calf raises. This was, I mean, if I could just have 9, I would have 9, but again, I don't want to have small calves, although I already do, but this is going to target, you guessed it, the calves. Here we have a standing calf raise machine. I do these seated, standing. I mean, it doesn't really matter too much. They're all genetic. Nothing much to say about this one. I just don't want small calves. However, you don't have to go, when you press up on these calf machines, like the photo, you don't have to press all the way up on your toes. You can just rest in that deep stretch position and then go up slightly, like the photo on the left, and go back down again. That's what I do, and I've seen the same results. So probably the most boring exercise, but it has to be done for running. Has to be done for running sport benefits from bigger calves. So that's a list. What would you change? What would you add? Is there any muscle groups I missed? I mean, other than glutes, but I don't really care about having. If I had 10 exercises, I don't really care about that. Again, just like I said at the start, If you want a plan with some of these exercises, plus a few others, remember my promise at the start, DM me the word session to my Instagram, Ryan McIntyre Coaching, to earn your free muscle building strategy call, where you can add your own workout program for completely free. So speak soon and enjoy the rest of your day. And I hope this was helpful. Goodbye.